Hey guys, it's CCL Extra Time, Ep.3. It's your boy Ryan, it's your boy Maiwa. We're the hosts here. How you doing, Maiwa?
Ryan, I'm good. Thanks for asking. Just another beautiful Wednesday that we're able to record this show. How about yourself?
Good. I'm good. I'm ready to talk. Ready to talk some big things on the show.
No, I think we got a lot to talk about today. Another episode of Extra Time just to really fill our people in. I know they're always happy to see our faces, so continue to watch and we'll continue to provide some news. I think we'll kick off with our COVID-19 updates. Once again, we've been in communication with multiple state associations and state governmental officials. And as we just released our official league statement for CCL New England. So that went out and it was able to allow those club directors to get the information out to their clubs in regards to how we're going to proceed with postponing the season and not a cancellation. So realistically, we were glad to see we were able to really follow the same procedure and policy that we instilled here in Virginia, Maryland, DC, and we were able to get that in the New England region. So that helps with kind of pushing out the same message to all of our membership across the board. New England, we really want to get you guys up and rolling. We really want to get these games played. Same with our groups in Virginia, Maryland, and DC. So we will continue to keep you updated. But as you're fully aware, we have sent out modified schedules. We have sorted out modified schedules to be able to, once we get the green light, jump release schedules, let teams get back into training, and then hosting these potential matches. So that's where we stand now with CCL New England and CCL, based out of Virginia, Maryland, and DC.
That sounds great. We're really excited to see New England play for sure. I mean, it's the inaugural season. Excited to see them, get out there. We've got some guests from New England today, so we'll talk about that a little later. Milo, do you have any other news?
Yeah, just in addition to what we've done with the official statements, we during these times we've seen a lot of groups nonstop, with their, I guess, virtual learning centers. And so we, as the CCL, we've continued to challenge our CCL directors, to challenge our CCL players. It's been interesting. It's been extremely fun to see the CCL versus CCL New England stay-at-home challenge, where the players from the clubs have been competing to accomplish the most challenges that we've set out. So we've seen a lot. We were able to just release this week's new challenge for them. That one is tricks with your parents.
Yeah.
Playing with your parents. So that's the one that we wanted to add to make sure we got parents involved. The players bringing those parents outside with them or inside just to kick the ball, to try their skills out. It's a fun activity. I know once again we've seen some good participation in that, and I think you can hit on it. You probably saw the video. It seems like our guest, who's going to be joining us a little bit later today, he's nonstop with the club challenges. He's ready.
Yeah, our guest JB, he's all about it, man. He wants to see his club challenge. He wants to see New England do well, and he's really supporting it, which is great. New England's won the past two, so CCL, need to step your game up.
That's a call out / challenge, but the CCL, you started with the first one, and then CCL New England has really came around and gathered the last two challenges. Another thing I want to hit on is the director challenges. I think I told you last week that I had a lot more faith in this group who's coming up. Where did we get that footage? MJ was watching these challenges as well?
Yeah. MJ was watching on his tablet, in his $1 million home or $1 billion home, whichever. He's really interested in it for sure.
Man, that I think we had SVU represent with off the juggle into the trash bin.
That was nice.
And then we had Potomac, Steve Natman came through, and he doubled up. You know, he hit us with the right foot, and then he came back for the second go with his
Yeah.
left foot and drained both of them.
But
So,
I still stand by Kevin Cash hit it first time.
Kevin Cash hit it
Still,
first.
I still stand by it.
I know Steve said he hit it first time. I gotta take his word a bit, but just a bit. But I know Kevin Cash hit that first time.
I mean, that's ice in his veins.
To do it with his left foot, I was impressed thoroughly. I don't think many of the directors thought we were gonna attempt to go both feet, but he took it upon himself, and he really just busted out both feet. So hey, if we're telling him to be a 2-footed player, you got to be able to show him how to. So
You got to show up.
Steve, for you, it's a tip of my hat. No, it's an Adidas hat. So it looks like we have John Barada joining us.
What's happening?
There he goes, representing the Adidas family shirt. We
Got it
love
going on. What's up, Brian?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Look at that, man. You haven't shaved since last time I saw you, January?
It's been a cold season for him.
It has been.
And then the stay at home didn't help him at all.
No, not at all.
It hasn't helped any of us right now.
JB, you're coming on at a very good time, a very hot moment. We're just discussing the stay at home challenge. We were just giving you a little bit of credit. We've seen JB pop on a few times and grace the public with his performances. Speak on your challenge yesterday that we got to see.
So I took the kids over to their grandparents' house, and I needed some more people to just start practicing our social distance training environment, which is at least 6 feet away from each other, and working on our passing. So the kids had the chance to go see their grandparents and have a little bit of fun while not touching the ball with their hands and not touching anyone in terms of contact. So I think once we get the clearance, we are all set up here in New England to start our social distance practices. We're ready to go.
There we go. Look at that. Legacy on the map. They know what they're doing. They're getting a little practice there.
Best practices we have to share with all the clubs in New England. That's what we'll have to share.
No, perfect. No, so, now that we do have you on the line, I just spoke on our official statement and how we just released that into our New England marketplace. It's very refreshing that we were able to use the same models that we were able to use down in Virginia, Maryland, and DC. Getting all the directors on the call, making sure we're putting forth the right efforts to see the players getting back on the field. But, as we have the director of operations from New England, John Barada, let's dive straight into it where we'll let you now give a nice introduction, background of yourself, and then I'd say lead into, the official statement that we put out.
Yeah, so for us, in terms of my background, I've been very fortunate to work with our CCL New England clubs now for a couple of years in a different capacity with the NSL and then previously as Maple. For me, I've been very, very blessed to be in the game for over 20 plus years now. It just makes me very old, to be honest. But I've been very, very happy with my opportunity to be involved in soccer. I've enjoyed coaching. I've enjoyed being a director of coaching for leagues, for programs, for organizations, and also for clubs. The most fun I've been having is actually working with the CCL, you guys, as we started to build the new league up here in New England with the Club Champions League in New England, and really just sharing best practices and working together and just spread the love of the game. I mean, obviously, no one thought that we'd be doing this in the middle of a pandemic. But I got to be honest, it really just showed how strong the power of a league can be when we can continue to influence the game in such a positive way via just social media, via Zoom meetings, and just via encouraging our kids to play on their own. So to be honest, the background, great, I've enjoyed, but it's really the future that's most exciting for me as we get going forward with CCL New England and all that we're going to be able to provide for our families. But I just love the relationship we have as a group collectively here. So thanks for the quick intro. But I'll say that going forward, just really excited about the opportunities for our clubs, our families, and our players to access just top quality all around. So I think you wanted me to talk about the statement. To be honest, we've been having conference calls and Zoom meetings and webinars. I mean, it seems like every hour on the hour, we've been doing something as a league to share with our league members and then to just kind of continue to lead the space. And the technical director calls that you've been having in the CCL that have expanded into CCL New England have really allowed us to come up with a solution or possible solutions to navigate this pandemic that we're living in right now in this unprecedented time. So what we've done is we've worked with all 5 state associations and all 5 associations that we have, that clubs are participating in the CCL New England. And what we've been able to do is draft a communication to our families and to our members that we're taking this very serious, right? And their health and safety is our absolutely first initiative and the first thing we want to address. We've also wanted to make sure that we have a plan, have friends and have a plan, and right, the structure, the leadership, and the brand and the partners that we have worked hard together to make sure that we are going to come out of this strong and stronger than we actually probably came into it, to be completely honest. So yesterday's statement just was a unified approach that we take all the safety precautions as designated by U.S. Youth Soccer, but even more importantly for all of our states was our governing bodies, right? So our governors and all the standing orders, we're going to take that on to strong consideration before we lift any type of, we'll say, restriction for soccer. So we will definitely have a plan in place, which is what it states, that we will, for our families and our clubs, once the clear, all clear is given for us to go. So that's what the statement was that we're here for you, really, and that we'll be ready to go once soccer is in the clear. So I thought that was really great.
Yeah, JB, what's your expectations for the inaugural CCL New England season using the our CCL model?
So to be honest, the expectations are really high for me in terms of the positive energy it's going to bring. Right, I think that the strength of the brand, right, in terms of what the CCL represents, the top regional league in the country. All right, national champions, regional champions, state champions, then being able to take that brand that has built such an amazing infrastructure in your region and bring it up to New England is something that is very, very exciting for me, to be honest. In addition to the leadership that is provided by the CCL that has transcended now over to CCL New England, all of that, Ryan, is really exciting. Being able to create a hybrid opportunity of the club-to-club model that has been so successful down with CCL since 1997 is really exciting to me to introduce into the New England market. So hopefully the positivity isn't being overly done. It's just really, it is an exciting time for us to have that opportunity to bring to the New England culture. Right. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit, Ryan.
No, I think that's a great answer as well. We really can echo that's the true pool of what the CCL is capable of doing. And as we continue to explore multiple expansion opportunities, I think this message will just continue to circulate and get around. So it looks like we've had another edition. So today we are definitely blessed to have both CCL New England, staff members involved. So now we have, it's good to have JB on. We've done our introduction as the operations director, and now we're able to say, yes, We do have the technical advisor of CCL New England, Nick Dunbar, joining us. So Nick, just give yourself an introduction and a little history on where you've been, what you've been doing with the CCL New England.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for having me, guys. Pleased to join it and see if I can offer any input and valuable insight to what we're doing. I've been technical advisor with CCL New England since the start of this year. Before that, we were Northeast Soccer League. And before that, we were the Maple League that grew into the Northeast Soccer League. So I've had the luxury of kind of being involved now in various positions for about the last 4 years with the various leagues and their entities. I actually came over to America in 1989, coaching soccer. Stayed in 1991, been living here ever since. Got involved in the soccer industry through Major League Soccer camps and various camp programs and industries. And I've been involved in club soccer probably for the last 10 years now in various guises and working with various groups from USU Soccer to US Club and various other entities as well. So it's been a great, well, I'm losing track of how many days and months it is now, just with everything that's going on. What day is it? Is it Wednesday today or Thursday? I don't know. But yeah, several months now, and we're just hoping to get on the field, just like everybody else.
No, appreciate that, Nick. And that's what we were just discussing. You know, you're hopping on as we just finished our conversation with the COVID-19 official statement that went out yesterday. And,
right.
You know, we definitely want to get these kids back on the field, but we do understand the uncertainty of time, but making sure when we do get the green light, we're just doing the appropriate procedures and policies before just letting kids go back on the field.
Absolutely.
Actually, Nick, they were making fun of you before, but it's okay.
Of course they were. Why wouldn't you?
We have it on recording. We'll deal with that later.
Why not kick a man when he's down? That's what I say. Tell me a better time.
Oh, my. Look at that. No, so now that we have both of you guys on, you know, this becomes a very good episode to go deeper into CCL New England, touch base on some of the clubs, what the application process is, what we plan on doing, and how we really see expansion, you know, down the road. Unfortunate that as we're still navigating to have our inaugural season kick off, but we'll get to kick that first CCL New England soccer ball here soon enough. So just dive into that a little bit, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to jump in, and then obviously Nick, who is obviously a man with a lot of experience in this field, guys. I mean, I've been one of the reasons why I've enjoyed this experience has been really it's been a bit of a family working with Nick, which is why I kind of laugh that the first shirt I got from you guys was the shirt that says family right now, because I feel like we're expanding, you know, our family and joining one that was super exciting to be a part of first, which was you guys just like walking us through and talking to us about working together. And then once we joined the brand, I really feel that the family environment you preach, you live every day. So what I wanted to bring up into New England was that family environment, right? So that's why when we had those discussions, seeing your calls with your 26 club leaders, right? Seeing your calls with your executive committees, those were things that we had done, but I think we've just enhanced it 100-fold because of, you know, the brand, right? I think now people are excited to be a part of what we're doing in New England. So the New England, the inaugural season will be a very exciting opportunity to showcase the events, right? To showcase who CCL is, to showcase opportunities to collaborate with CCL wherever we're going to be, right? We're expanding and we're growing and people want to become CCL all over the place, and being able to share best practices is really something that is just super exciting for me as the league operator, but also as someone who has clubs in the league that are looking for guidance. We have an expert in Nick who was able to come across as our technical advisor, but also going to be more of our soccer ambassador to help clubs remain compliant. So when I get to the compliant piece, that means that clubs first need to apply. So right now we're getting a lot of inquiries, which is fantastic, from new clubs, small clubs, existing clubs that are part of different leagues in New England that are looking to apply to CCL New England for 2020 season in the fall. We're finalizing the online application at this moment. We are actually tweaking it to get we're going to have an interesting team-based model and a club-to-club model as we navigate this transition to really bring the club-to-club model to New England. Nick may be able to speak more on, the application process, standards, and how we're going to be different and what we're going to try to achieve. So I'll let Nick take that. But from our perspective, it's to really bring the United States Youth Soccer Association, the USYS banner and flag back to the New England region with its absolutely amazing national championship series, its national leagues, and the opportunities to compete at the regional level, especially when we come back from this, the COVID-19 pandemic. It is going to be wonderful to have a really strong regional presence and keep soccer affordable and local for all of our families and all of our friends, which are our clubs. So, Nick, anything else that you may want to answer? Because you're a much better speaker than I am. So go ahead.
No pressure. Yeah, I think what John talks about there is obviously there's a change in landscape within the soccer market right now, and it's almost a phrase that we're getting bored of hearing is landscape and how it's changing everything. And one of the conversations that myself and John had before we got involved with CCL is that I don't think the landscape's changing that much really. It comes down to various core values that a lot of the people that are involved in our league have and retain and remain with, which is the good soccer citizens. And as a league, what we started off with was the concept of providing a place for our clubs to compete, provide a place for our clubs to develop, and ultimately, whatever that ends up looking like for their club, succeed. And as we were in the marketplace of the New England region, it became increasingly difficult for a lot of these smaller clubs with what we call soccer citizens to stay relevant within the marketplace. So just as some of these clubs have gone on and merged with larger organizations around, and we've encouraged some to do that and said, pick your right partner, we as a league decided to do the same. And when we started looking at people that we wanted to partner with, it became really obvious and evident that CCL were a group that had the same philosophies as we did, that understood the power of club and the power of league and the power of partnership, which is where we were coming from as well, working together. They brought gold standard approach and gold standard partners, and it also gave us a chance to get back involved with US Youth Soccer, which is the largest youth organization for soccer in the States. It gave us a pathway to league and regional play, as John's alluded to there. And when we took a look at it from a league perspective, it really came down to, the decision was basically, how are we unique? Well, in speaking to CCL, it came down to brand, structure, and leadership. The brand is second to none. It's known throughout the country. It's a trailblazer in everything it does, from a club-to-club approach to gold standards of vendors that we work with in terms of how it's managed and how it's dealt with. So there was the brand immediately. The structure of the league, the club-to-club model, was something we firmly believed in. We understood other clubs wanted to do. They wanted better standards. They wanted a better organisation. They wanted to play regionally against other teams and have a familiarity with the clubs they were playing against. And that came down to leadership as well. This league is now driven by the clubs. It's not driven by a board. It's not managed by a board. The only people that are making decisions on how this league is run are soccer people who have got a vested interest in making sure this works. So when we took it all together, it was literally a no-brainer. The board gave us the decision to run with it. And, we're just excited to get on with it, really. That's the problem. We're being held back with the situation that we find ourselves in. But hopefully that gives you an explanation of the decision-making process and how we got here.
No, I think that's good. And just make sure to share your Venmo account with Ryan. He'll slide you a little something for such a good plug on the CCL.
Yeah.
No, but I think a lot of those topics that you hit on are the true values that we bring to the community. So the strategic partners, the access and the different pathways into the national championship series. So I think that just leads right into another question that Ryan has for you guys as well.
Yeah, guys, either of you can speak on this, but what are some of the benefits of the National League Alliance, and how can it help our clubs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to take Nick a stab, and then why don't you add to it?
Go for it, mate.
All right. So for me, being part of the National League Alliance, we've already mentioned branding, we've mentioned structure, we've mentioned leadership. I think one thing we haven't done enough justice to is the partnerships yet. And for me, meeting all the people from soccer.com, okay, Adidas, Quick Goal, and the United Soccer Coaches, right, has provided us with just a plethora of awesome information, knowledge, and opportunity. So the NLA has provided us with that as a very basic platform, right? But it's actually not basic at all. It's exemplary. It is the gold standard partners across the entire space. And now that's what we get as being part of the NLA, which is also where the CCL falls under, and also CCL New England, and other leagues are falling under the NLA. So it's the power of league that really excites me, Ryan, right? Because that drives what the NLA's mission is that through the power of league, we can affect change and get kids playing soccer and make soccer the preeminent sport in the United States, right? That's what we're trying to do here. And then, on top of that, by the way, we also have a league championship pathway, right? Which is by US Youth Soccer, right? Which provides us avenue to the regional championships, right? It's a league championship that allows us to get direct pathway from our league to the US Youth Soccer National Championship. I mean, that's just, it's unreal. If you really think about that, that's what you're getting from a local league level. You can have access, all right, to cost-effective, competitive, local regional play. It's really a no-brainer to be a part of the NLA and the benefits we got. So hopefully I didn't bore you too much there, Ryan, but it's a great question. And Nick, if you have anything else to add.
I just found it, just to echo what John said there, I'm working with like-minded soccer people, right? Every group we speak to has got development somewhere in their mission or vision statement. And we just found that some people were paying lip service to it. So we're now working with like-minded soccer people who've literally got kids at heart, right? And that's what it's about, is developing your players, developing your coaches, developing your parents, your referees, your administrators. It's using the power of league to speak to like-minded people and sharing what they found out to be best practices. We've had best practice phone calls for the last 4 weeks now, where we're sharing information between those various clubs and those various organizations that you can take back to your own club. And that's refreshing when you think about what the club landscapes looked like for the last few years, when it's been, can I steal your kid or can I steal your coach? Now everybody's seeing that there's the power of league here, that we're only as strong as our weakest league. And if we can make everybody better, then, you know, the person that's going to win out of that is the kids and the coaches. So I guess the only question is why we haven't done it sooner, right? It seems kind of obvious, really. But.
Exactly. And like you guys said, we got some really good groups involved in the NLA. We really get to see the benefits. I know firsthand, I can speak from the CCL standpoint of our U19 girls. We actually saw a massive benefit for the league championship pathway, just because, you know, our U19 girls from Virginia, they were state cup champions. Our U19 girls from Maryland, they were also state cup champions. And figure, you know, they were in seat 1 and 2 in league standing. So then you get to go all the way down to, not all the way down, but you get to go to the third place team, and then they still have the possibility of getting involved with, you know, that national championship series. So it does speak a lot of volume on how the level of play within CCL is extremely high, but then it also really shares that this working together, collaborating, has created a very fantastic pathway for their clubs and membership. So I think that's unique. And then another piece that you spoke well on, John, was just highlighting those strategic partners in our gold standards. You know, we're able to see what United Soccer Coaches does for us just through hosting, you know, the convention, and now even hosting, you know, a webcast series for these times during the COVID-19. We've seen the major benefits of our partner at soccer.com and Adidas, you know, giving us groundbreaking, you know, rebates and potential for all of our club membership. Quick Goal, you know, they've came in, they've done a very fantastic job. They were able to announce the coach of the year in CCL for a male and female coach. And in that, them being recognized, they both got into USA license courses, and Quick Goal's covering those costs. So there are those major benefits that come through working together and strategically planning the appropriate partnerships for your membership. And, you know, as we were on our board meeting this morning down here, Virginia, Maryland, DC, you know, once again, you get all 27 clubs represented during these times. We're all back on a video conference. And once again, best practices being shared, and then truly just planning through what's going to happen this spring, Summer Pro 23, going into the fall, you know, discussing league fees and how we're going to work with the clubs to not strap clubs to make payments right away. That way they can still take care of what's happening at their specific clubs versus having that pressure of, oh, we know our declaration and our fees are due, but now it allows everybody to fully restructure and make sure when we get out of this COVID-19 situation that we are back and healthy in the appropriate way.
Yeah.
You know, the next thing I want to segue into is events. You know, I think that one of the big pieces of this, CCL New England will be hosting events, traveling to events. I know Kevin Cash does a fantastic job of managing these events that the CCL puts forth. You know, before COVID-19 struck, we had events planned for our inaugural CCL season. Can you guys speak on those two specific events we had, and that really does paint another picture on what the CCL is looking to bring to that geographic location of New England?
Yeah. So again, I'll start off because, you know, we had planned the CCL New England Summit in March, and that was supposed to be a fantastic event where all of our partners were going to be there. All of our clubs were going to be invited to a full day summit, which would have been idea exchange. It would have been just a wonderful brainstorming opportunity. We would have had our state association there also to present the Safe Sports Connect going forward for what the registration policies would be going into the fall. So the summit was going to be just a hands down, an absolutely amazing event for our clubs to engage, to get to know each other, to sit with each other, to share ideas, but really important for them to get to know CCL brand and its partners up front. So that was a bit of a bummer, for lack of a better word, that we weren't able to put that on, but we'll have it in the future. And then the other events were going to be on the field on May 3rd. We had, for this weekend, actually, we had planned the Scrimmage Fest, which was going to be just an awesome, fun time for kids to play and to have a great opportunity to do some small-sided games, but also a carnival festival format with, Kevin as the leader, right? Kevin Cash would have been the ringmaster there, just keeping everyone organized and having a lot of fun. And then we had the, which was, I thought was going to be really exciting, a club-to-club festival. So introducing the club-to-club model that has made, obviously, CCL famous across the country, is actually having the opportunity for a club to go and play almost all of its games in one location against an entire club's team for a full slate, okay? So a technical director of coaching, family, referee coordinator, everybody could be on one location and just see how awesome it is for the kids to develop, teams to develop, coaches to develop, all on one site. So we were going to bring that to life up in Lancaster at Massachusetts Youth Soccer. But unfortunately, we're going to have to hold off on those events and reschedule them for a later date. So hopefully I did them justice, Nick, but anything else you want to add to those events that I may have, not added enough?
No, I think you spoke on it very well, and unfortunate that once again we weren't able to put forth these events. I remember discussing the summit, planning the summit, and that even very close to the dates we were still fresh into COVID-19. Nobody knew a month later plus we would still be trying to figure out what we're going through, but here we are today. Nick, it is a Wednesday. I had the same thoughts.
Are you sure though? How do you know?
You got to double check every single calendar just to make sure, because Yes, it has been a whirlwind, and these days have been put together in a sense. But with that, I got a question directed to you, Nick. As the technical advisor, as the soccer ambassador, we know that you're connected to the clubs, the club directors. You're kind of the first person they go to if there's a conflict, if there's an issue, or they need something to get resolved. So in that manner, on this phone call, what advice would you want to just make sure you're getting out to all of the CCL New England directors and potential coaching staff to be able to get to their directors to get messages over to us so we can better serve?
Well, the key to it is communication, right? Look, it's not how well you do anything. It's what we've said this for a number of times, myself and John. It doesn't matter how well you do something anymore. It's how well you communicate how well you're doing something. So for a lot of our organizations, it's giving them access to a larger platform, whether that's social media, whether it's by a web page, just making sure they interact, pass on the news that we're sending to them, and connect with as many people as possible within their organization. And one of the things that we're having to do is help them manage their organization, right? Some of these guys have stepped off a coaching field, male and female, and now find themselves as directors of coaching or technical directors of small business operations. So being able to work with them and explain to them and give them advice, support. For example, just last year, we did a director of coaching diploma, and we paid for clubs to go on that director of coaching diploma. So they could understand what was needed in the marketplace to work with, with the membership, be that players, coaches, parents, administrators, and even referees, right? So working with those groups side by side, and most importantly, is giving them open access and saying that this is your league. It's not a board that's telling you what to do. You're going to determine what it is. So I do think that myself and John and the people that are involved in it have been very open to that. And we're just going to continue with that and just keep reinforcing the fact that they're part of the solution and we're here to help.
No, that's exactly the key. Like you said, open communication and at times a lot of it. I don't think in these situations we can over communicate. If you have questions, that's why we have the staff accessible to you. So no, I really appreciate that, Nick.
Yeah. JB, in these times, what advice do you give players right now, at home? What advice do you have for training? And also, how about you give a little pep talk for the rest of the CCL stay-at-home challenge?
I mean, so the funny thing is for me, what I try to tell our kids is I've always believed that, a player, right, that wants to train and play on their own and that is self-motivated and driven and wants to be with the ball, that's a player that's going to get better, right? The player who needs to be pushed by a coach in person all the time or is forced to do something, they can be good, but they'll never be great at the game. This is a chance for you to become great, kids. Like, this is a chance for you to put your energy, your time, your effort in to working on that fitness that may not have been there, to work on that technical skill that may not have been there. This is a great time to do all of that, right? It's a great time to study the game, watch some games. Tactically, you can learn, right? You can do things. You can get excited about game analysis. Get out there and challenge your parent one-on-one. Challenge your dog, challenge your cat, whatever you got, go out there and play, right? I would say that for me, it's be engaged and get out there and keep building passion. The one thing I don't want to fall behind is kids' passion to play soccer, right? Because the problem is you can get really lethargic now, right? I want passion. I want kids to be like, I want to do this. I want to get out there. So these challenges, and the reason why CCL New England is going to win is because we want to do these challenges. We want to keep playing.
2-1, baby. 2-1, baby.
So what I want to do is I want to keep this going, and I challenge everyone to get out there, love the game, enjoy it. We will be together again someday, right? I do feel that we will be together, and just my challenge is, how much better will you be on the other side? Because you have a great chance to get better now. Control the controllables and get out there and get better. So that's my pep talk, Ryan. Get out there, baby. Let's go.
That fired me up a little bit. I mean, I woke up at noon today, so I'll definitely stop being lethargic now.
Oh, well, Ryan, you're supposed to keep that information to yourself. Now, this is the speech that motivates you tomorrow morning
Yes,
to get
sir.
up at 7:30 and put in a couple miles.
Yes, sir.
Take a soccer ball and juggle it a bit as well.
Yeah, definitely. Got to get out there.
Spot on. You know, it's motivating these kids to just still want to play. I know times are a lot different. You know, I wouldn't consider myself too much older, but in these moments, I would be out front by myself. I would be in the backyard by myself, just getting multiple touches on the soccer ball. And you hope kids are taking advantage of this day to be active versus this day to sit on their couch, watch TV, and play games all day. So that's a message that needs to get spread to not just the soccer player, to everybody. You know, make sure you're just continually being active.
You know what? Before I let Nick wrap up our side of it, I'll say, I always told my players, if you want to be a good player, train with your team. If you want to be a great player, train on your own. So this is that time where you can be a great player, right? So Nick has a much better finish, so I'll let him finish the round out there. So.
Well, are we talking about individual players at home? Is that what we need, Maya, Ryan?
Yeah.
No?
Yep.
Okay. Well, the first thing I'd say is, and John's gave a great talk about how you can get out there as well. And the other thing I'd also say to the kids is, if you do wake up and don't want to go out today, that's okay too, right? You know, these kids, it's been a real weird ride for a lot of these guys now. You were hoping to be out in the field, hoping to be kicking a ball, wearing all your nice new soccer gear and getting the chance to play with your friends. So this has been tough on a lot of people, and certainly really tough on the kids. Homeschooling, having to stay indoors and things like that. So do what you can, improve by yourself as much as you possibly can. If you don't get to 50 keep-ups, it's not a bad thing. I think the most important thing is that you went out there and tried, and just stay safe, healthy, so that we can see you on the field pretty soon. That's the most important message for us.
Perfect. No, so just to wrap this episode up, you know, we want to give you two the opportunity to give a shout out, give a plug. If there's a side thing you want to shout out and let people know to check out, this is your moment to do it. So JB, I see a big grin on your face. Give us what you want to plug out.
To be honest, I got a shout out to all of my clubs and the clubs that I work with right now that I'm lucky to serve here in CCL New England. I got to give them a shout out to just keep kicking CCL butt in the stay-at-home challenge. That's it. So there's a shout out. Just keep it going, and let's get to 5-1 as quickly as possible. Okay, so let's go.
It was a dangerous offer that I gave him.
Yeah, that was a softball.
You took full advantage of that one. Oh boy. Nick, what do you got for us? I hope it doesn't have to do with CCL getting smacked up on the stay-at-home challenge.
I don't know why CCL bother anymore, really, guys. It's practically over, isn't it? 2-1. Now, the thing I'd say is to echo John is just the fact that we get to work with great people who've supported us, who've retained and remained, because what they want to do is their focus is on driving soccer forward within this region. And we're blessed to be able to work with some great people that are, like I said before, true soccer citizens who are in it for the right reasons, and that is development and moving the ball forward. So, you know, it's been great to work with them. The excitement, the passion they bring to some of the Zoom calls, the feedback they're getting, the connectivity they're doing with the other groups, speaking to the other groups in little WhatsApp groups by themselves. So I'd like to thank them for their efforts and working with the kids and providing a great platform to play.
Shout out to you guys too. Thank you very much. You guys were
2-1, guys.
Oh man, it's a tough one. I'm thinking I might have to put on a CCL club jersey and get out there and start handling.
We'll take CCL New England's taking transfers, Maya. Actually, we're in the transfer window right now, so you're gonna have to wait till the season's over. Then we'll have a look at it.
Oh man, it's a big one getting shout out right there.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks for having us, for real.
Hold it down.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe, stay well, stay sane.
Thanks, guys. Stay
Thanks,
safe as
guys.
well.
Bye, guys.
Cheers, guys.
That's a wrap up of the CCL Extra Time episode 3. Thanks to guys from New England for joining us. Thanks, Maiwa, for co-hosting with me.
I think it was another good episode, but we can't leave our people without telling them, make sure we get after CCL New England in this
Yes,
state.
sir. Yes, sir. I want to see it, guys.
Heard it first there.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. See ya. Be safe.
Take care.